Welcome back everyone, I'm the running allergist. Today I'll be putting on my allergy hat and talking about the treatment of hay fever. So what is hay fever? Well, simply put, it's an allergy to pollens. Various pollens are around at different times of year. Tree pollens around in the spring, grass pollens in the summer. In the late summer and early autumn you get weed pollens and also certain seasonal fungal spores. You can also be allergic to things that are there in the air all year round, such as house dust mite and animal danders. Strictly speaking, this is perennial allergic rhinitis rather than hay fever, but the symptoms and treatment are largely the same. Typical hay fever symptoms include a runny nose, sneezing, blocked nose, itchy eyes, and if you're asthmatic, you may become wheezy. So how do we treat hay fever? I find that most people's hay fever is undertreated. Many people will rely on an antihistamine alone. This is better than nothing, but won't control the majority of people's hay fever unless it's exceptionally mild. Even worse, many people rely on a drowsy antihistamine, such as chlorphenamine, also called Piriton. This can cause significant drowsiness, causing problems driving cars, operating machinery, concentrating at work, and in children can reduce performance at school. So it's fine to start off your hay fever treatment with an antihistamine, but always use a non-drowsy one. There are several that you can get over the counter in the UK. These include cetirizine, loratadine and acrovastine. These all have commercial names, but I'll avoid using those given that they vary and can cause further confusion. If antihistamines alone don't do the job, then you need to add the next level of treatment, which is the single best treatment for hay fever, the nasal steroid spray. Don't be frightened by the term steroid. It's not a good idea to use oral steroids or injected steroids for long periods of time, but when sprayed into the nose, they act locally with hardly anything in the way of systemic side effects. Nasal steroids can also be bought over the counter. Beclomethasone and fluticasone are the two that are available in the UK. Nasal steroids also benefit eye symptoms, but if the eyes are a particular problem, then you can add an anti-allergy eye drop such as sodium chromoglycate drops, also available without a prescription. If you're asthmatic, you may need to step up your asthma treatment during the hay fever season. Always speak to your GP about this and they'll give you good guidance on that. It's always important to start the treatment early. If you know when your hay fever season is likely to begin, then start the treatment at least a couple of weeks before that. If you're not so sure, then start the treatment at the first sign of the symptoms kicking in. Another important principle is to continue the treatment daily. Just using these now and again is unlikely to be particularly effective. It's best to use them daily throughout the hay fever season, especially at the peak of your hay fever season. This combination of non-drowsy antihistamine, nasal steroid spray and, if necessary, eye drops will control most people's hay fever adequately. However, if you're one of the small number of people who still suffer bad symptoms despite these measures, you might be a candidate for immunotherapy or desensitization. This is a 3-year course of treatment that involves exposure to the very pollens to which you're allergic. This is usually done either with injections or drops or tablets under the tongue. This is something for which you'll need to see an allergy specialist. So in summary, start treatment with a non-drowsy antihistamine. If this doesn't do the job, add a nasal steroid spray. If the eyes are particularly problematic, add some chromoglycate eye drops. Start the treatment early, preferably before the symptoms really kick in. Use the treatment daily throughout the hay fever season. Before starting any new medicines, consult your pharmacist or even better, your GP. So that's my whirlwind tour of hay fever treatment. Leave any questions in the comments section below. Feel free to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.